right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
The weekend is trending drier and warmer. The dramatic change coming Sunday that will give us a taste of summer.
Faith fighting violent crime. We travel to Indianapolis, searching for solutions. The mission on the ground that could work here. And our top story tonight, Kim Gardner resigns after months of vowing she would not step down.
It's a good day for St. Louis.
I am disheartened.
Tonight, the future for the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office. Today's surprising announcement comes just 2 months after Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey demanded Gardner step down or be removed from office for neglecting her duties. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. In recent weeks, we reported on issues plaguing Gardner's office, including missed hearings and trials for violent criminals and a mass exodus of prosecutors. The resignation effective June 1st. She's stepping down to prevent the state legislature from passing a bill that would strip the office of its power. In a letter to the people of St. Louis, Gardner said, "The most powerful weapon I have to fight back against these outsiders stealing your voices and your rights is to step back."
We have live team coverage tonight covering all angles from what's next to reaction from local leaders and Gardner supporters. We start with 5 on Your Side's Christine Byers live outside the Circuit Attorney's office in downtown with breaking news on who might be the city's next top prosecutor.
And that's right, just 5 days after Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner told her supporters she would not step down, she made it official today, announcing she would resign June 1st. Now we're bringing you exclusive new details on who is in the running to replace her. For months, Gardner's team has been watching colleagues resign. This after Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey launched an investigation into her office. The head of Gardner's diversion program told reporters her decision to resign today was part of a deal with Jefferson City legislators.
The state legislature had introduced a bill recently that would permanently disenfranchise voters in St. Louis and take away their right to vote for the Circuit Attorney of St. Louis. She did not want to see that right permanently taken away from St. Louis voters.
Attention is now turning to who the governor will appoint to replace her. 5 on Your Side has learned from multiple sources familiar with the negotiations, Judge Michael Noble and criminal defense attorney Raphael Morris are in the running.
The Circuit Attorney's office appears to be a rudderless ship of chaos.
Noble moved ahead with contempt proceedings against Gardner and a member of her staff just last week for not showing up for a trial. He has not canceled those proceedings. He's a West Point grad and a SLU Law alum. Morris is a criminal defense attorney in St. Louis who spoke to 5 on Your Side after a judge had to call Gardner's office to see if anyone would be coming to one of his trials.
It's not justice for my client. It's not justice for the victims. It's not justice for the citizens of St. Louis, who all deserve better.
5 on Your Side's legal analyst and veteran criminal defense attorney Scott Rosenblum says whoever replaces Gardner has a lot of work to do.
I mean, I would think the first thing this person has to do, and hopefully it's a very competent person, and I trust it will be, that they're going to go out and hire competent staff, hire veteran lawyers to start mentoring the younger people.
As for what's next in the Attorney General's efforts to remove Kim Gardner, he says he is still proceeding because he wants her gone effective immediately. A new judge has been appointed to that case, so it's possible there could be rulings in the next 2 weeks. Live outside the courthouse in downtown St. Louis, Christine Byers, 5 on Your Side.
And as soon as Gardner's decision came down, reaction from state and local leaders quickly poured in. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon joins us now with that part of our team coverage. Brent?
Mike, today Governor Mike Parson announced he will soon appoint someone to replace Kim Gardner to head the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's office. He said his office will approach that duty with, quote, utmost seriousness.
The man who led the fight to get Kim Gardner out of office chimed in immediately Thursday. Attorney General Andrew Bailey saying there is absolutely no reason for the circuit attorney to remain in office until June 1st. We remain undeterred with our legal quest to forcibly remove her from office. Every day she remains puts the city of St. Louis in more danger, he says. How many victims will there be between now and June 1st? How many defendants will have their constitutional rights violated? How many cases, he asks, will continue to go unprosecuted? St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones saying this: "No one wanted to see the circuit attorney's office fail, and my administration has reached out consistently to the office to offer assistance. We are hopeful that the governor will work with local leaders to appoint a successor who reflects the values of communities across St. Louis." U.S. Representative Cori Bush also weighing in, saying, quote, "During her tenure as the first black woman to serve in this role, Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner too often faced unfair and unprecedented attacks rooted in misogyny and racism. What's especially troubling is that these attacks are not anomalies. They mimic a larger pattern of far-right efforts nationwide to undercut and undermine the leadership of black elected officials," end quote.
St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell told us the Circuit Attorney's Office is vital to help our region thrive. He says he's ready to assist the city in any way he can. The governor says he is committed to find a candidate who represents the community and who can help restore faith in the city's criminal justice system.
Tonight, local elected officials are weighing in, saying this whole process has affected the public's view of the justice system. And they tell our Laura Barczewski it will be a long road to turn the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office around. Laura.
And Alderman Joe Vollmer and State Representative Peter Meredith say it's going to take everyone coming together to move the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office forward, and that could take years.
St. Louis 5th Ward Alderman Joe Vollmer says he believes Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner's resignation is the best outcome for everyone.
I would hate to have had the Attorney General remove her. That would have been a stain on our city and down a long set of precedent that we could never get above. So I'm glad that she finally saw that.
He says he saw firsthand how the sharp decline in Gardner's office negatively affected St. Louisans.
It's been one of the biggest downward spirals I've seen. We're a pariah to the rest of the nation right now, and her office, unfortunately, was a leading part of that.
St. Louis State Representative Peter Meredith says he hopes a new circuit attorney and a whole new staff will stop measures trying to put the prosecutor's office in the hands of the state.
In the short term, it will be the governor appointing a replacement. That's my understanding, and that's really what they were pushing for. But what this prevents is a situation where it stays under state control. You know, we'll have another election, and the people of St. Louis can decide who our next prosecutor is. And that's how the system is supposed to work.
Do you think the city can truly move forward and, come back from this?
I do think so. St. Louis is strong. And I think that we can move on from this and try and figure out how to rebuild and make ourselves stronger. I think there's some good things that Kim Gardner's office did that we can build on. And there are some problems we can probably learn from. And my hope is whoever goes in there next and whoever runs for that office next really takes those lessons to heart in both directions.
Now, both of them say that pending any other legislation, St. Louisans will be able to vote for the next St. Louis prosecutor in 2024. Reporting live from St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Kim Gardner's supporters have remained steadfast and have stood by her for months now.
Robert Townsend continues our live team coverage with their reaction to Gardner's decision to step down. Robert.
Mike and I talked to two staunch Kim Gardner supporters. Neither was ready for what happened today. Right after embattled St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner made her big announcement, her supporters we talked to said the news was a big surprise to them.
I am disheartened.
I guess she's tired.
Celestine Dotson is the president of the Mound City Bar Association. The Reverend Charles Norris is the president of the St. Louis Clergy Coalition. Both say they did not expect Gardner to resign Thursday afternoon.
I guess my reaction is what she thinks is best for the city, I'm willing to accept.
After I broke the news to Dotson, she uttered a huge gasp.
She had supporters, and she had a lot of supporters, but she also had a lot of people in powerful positions who were relentless about having her removed and challenging her at every turn.
Despite Attorney General Andrew Bailey's push to remove Gardner, her attorneys not showing up for felony court cases, and dozens of relatives of crime victims criticizing Gardner, her supporters have remained loyal to the end.
She did something that had not been done before in terms of being the first black woman to be in that office, but also to take the bold step to speak to some of the injustices, and I will continue to support and encourage her to keep the faith.
Now, Dotson tells me when she and Gardner had lunch just last Friday, Gardner didn't give her any sign that she would resign today. Live downtown, Robert Towns at 5 on your side.
And our coverage of Kim Gardner's resignation continues now on KSDK.com and on the 5 on Your Side app. There you can read more reaction from local leaders, supporters, and our legal analysts.
Tonight, we're searching for solutions on curbing crime in St. Louis.
When I come out here and walk because I care.
I traveled to Indianapolis, where a passionate pastor is hitting the pavement and teaming up with former criminals to make the streets safer.
The rain chances look more pathetic with each passing hour. Why we need rain and what keeps most of us from seeing much of it heading into the weekend.
Developing tonight, St. Louis police investigating a double shooting at a downtown parking garage. It happened about 2 hours ago at the Marriott parking garage at 8th and Washington. One victim was shot on the arm. We're told the other is in critical condition. No word tonight if this is connected to a deadly shooting at that same garage last night. Tonight, we learned the victim is Latasha Stewart. 5 on Your Side spoke to her several times in the past as she demanded justice for her son's unsolved murder in 2020. Police are still looking for a suspect in this latest shooting. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, a former nurse at Vianney High School is under arrest, accused of having inappropriate sexual contact with a student. Erin Forstel is charged with statutory sodomy in the 2nd degree and sexual contact with a student. According to court documents, she confessed to the crimes. Vianney fired Forstel last month.
In the cities of St. Louis and Indianapolis last year, at least 200 people were murdered. It's a horrific number, but a grassroots group in Indianapolis is fighting back, proving some shoe leather and some former criminals can stop the violence. I traveled to the Circle City to meet them. It's part of our year-long series, Searching for Solutions.
We haven't been hearing anything else about what's going on in Crown Hill.
A man of the cloth.
I was in one of the neighborhoods where the church got robbed.
Reverend Charles Harrison creates a pulpit by pounding the pavement.
You remember when we used to do the funerals?
He founded the anti-violence group 10 Point Coalition in 1999.
I remember the first night that we came into the neighborhood.
4 nights a week, he and other members walked the most dangerous neighborhoods in Indianapolis.
Malcolm got killed on 30th.
His sermon in the streets? Engage the troublemakers.
When I come out here and walk because I care.
And stop future violence and retaliation by tracking hot spots.
That was the last murder in the neighborhood.
And then you also are monitoring where shots are fired.
Yes.
At night, the group will patrol these areas.
That's right.
And they started to see real success when former criminals started stepping up.
They were the drug dealers. They were the members of the gangs. They ended up going to prison. They came out of prison, turned their lives around. They were the individuals who wanted to help clean up what they had messed up. What's up, Donnie?
The 10 Point Coalition calls these individuals the OGs, people like Donnie Reynolds.
I grew up in a housing project here. This is where she lived at right here.
The OGs started volunteering, walking the streets with 10 Point.
Yes, sir.
And their street cred got people talking.
You have a gang that's hanging out on the corner. The OGs went up to them and started engaging in a conversation.
A little eating place, a little brewery thing, how that corner has changed, right?
And this where Greg live at?
Donnie is no stranger when it comes to the streets of St. Louis. He used to live in North City.
Well, you can.
He says these dangerous indie neighborhoods mirror some of our own.
Natural Bridge, going up West Florissant, Fairgrounds Park area.
Do you think that a 10 Point Coalition could work in a North St. Louis?
Yes, it could. Yes, it could.
And it's definitely worked here in Indianapolis. Since 2016, 10 Point has reduced annual homicide totals in some of these neighborhoods by 80 to 100%.
5 out of the last 8 years, this area has gone 365 days without a murder. In Crown Hill, they have gone 3 out of 8 years without a murder.
Now, residents not only count on these street guardians,
hey, How you doing there? Good to see you.
They welcomed them.
I see you still putting in the work.
I still put it in.
Plus, comrades in City Hall believe in the mission.
We had the support of the city police, the city, and the prosecutor's office from the very beginning. We used to do that.
Yes.
The statistics prove 10-point success.
Later, man. All right.
And news of their accomplishments are spreading across the country.
I have about 28 other cities that have reached out to me from across the country.
Can St. Louis reach out?
St. Louis can. We'll come.
Reverend Harrison warns there is no silver bullet to reducing violence. He says it has to be a bottom-up approach where the community, the churches, and the law enforcement work together, addressing both immediate violence and its root causes.
And you've got more stories coming up from Indianapolis.
We do. We have two more. And St. Louis has a lot of fabulous things going on, of course. These are just ideas, things we're trying to learn from other cities and just maybe find some solutions. One of these things is that the state of Indiana just gave $10 million to the Indy Sports Corp, which would be the St. Louis Sports Commission here. Well, they don't get a dime here from the government,
right?
As you well know,
right?
So big difference in sports tourism and getting a lot of money infused to the urban area of downtown Indy.
All right, we'll look forward to that report. All right, Ann, thanks very much.
All right, let's get to Scott.
Yeah, time for that weather first forecast. Are you ready for some changes this weekend?
Warmer, but kind of some rain going on.
Well, there is a rain chance, but we're going to leave it at the chance at this point. In fact, you know, we had a weather alert for tomorrow. We've ixnayed that. That's not going to happen. The chances of rain, if you haven't been with us earlier today, all the guidance, all of the things we look at to get this rain and make this forecast, the rain chances have gone way down. There will be limited shower chances on Friday, but it will still be much warmer this weekend. We can definitely use the rain. Drought monitor came out. This is the rainfall update through Tuesday, and the area of abnormally dry conditions has expanded across much of central Illinois, back into the St. Louis area, down into parts of southeast Missouri, and now a severe drought developing out into mid-Missouri. Something, if we don't get some rain, is going to be problematic. April and May, normally wet months. April, not so much so. So far, May, not happening either, but the humid air is out to the west. We've been very dry. That dry air coming into play with this next system, while the energy seems to be tracking a little farther to the south with this, creating some stronger storms in Oklahoma and Texas. As that band of showers has been pushing into the bi-state region, it's running into that dry air, and that's basically eating away at the rain, and we'll keep it focused to our south tonight into tomorrow. We're still in the upper 60s in St. Louis, only in the 50s down in Springfield right now. This is the rain. It's wet in Branson, wet in Springfield, but as you push towards the east, the rain tends to fizzle a bit as it's encountering the dry air. Our weather first futurecast through the overnight hours. Yes, your rain chances are there down to the south of St. Louis. Maybe a few showers even tomorrow morning, but for most of us, it's a variably cloudy sky. Temperatures going back into the lower 70s, even north and northeast of St. Louis. We may see some warmer temperatures where there's a little more sunshine. It won't be all that cool going into Friday night and early Saturday morning. We're still in the upper 50s for lows early Saturday. And the big bulk of the warm air, that'll be making inroads towards us as we head through the day on Saturday. So while there might be a shower or thunderstorm early in the morning, it most likely starts cloudy, then it becomes partly cloudy with just slim chances for any rain by later Saturday into Saturday afternoon. And this front tends to fizzle a bit. In fact, the focus shifts a little farther to the north overnight Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Perhaps a couple of clusters of thunderstorms developing into Iowa, spreading into Illinois, and then dropping to the southeast. That's something we typically see during the late spring and early summer. They most likely would impact areas Sunday morning east of St. Louis, but they do put down a boundary that tries to nudge into the St. Louis area. And look at your temperatures back into the mid-80s by 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. It's not out of the question some of us go into the 90s. So warmer, if not hot, and humid on Sunday. A storm could pop up. It would be mainly late in the day. Odds are it will be more likely Sunday night into Monday when we will see our storm chances increase a bit across the area. And while not everybody will get a storm in each opportunity, hopefully before the end of next week, most of us will see some decent rainfall. It's just not happening tomorrow. Most likely isn't happening on Saturday. And as we head towards the middle of the week, we're still in the mid-80s next week. Your first week of May is going to feel more like the first week of June traditionally feels.
All right, Scott, thank you. Frank?
What do you got?
Well, Jack Flaherty on the losing streak, Ryan O'Reilly in the postseason, and a high school student by day and a boxer by night. Stay with us.
Project 5 and Behavioral Health Response teaming up tonight to provide mental health counseling. Excuse me. The phone line is open for about 10 more minutes. A mental health professional will be available to talk with you. Just call the number on your screen, 314-469-6644.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
The Titanic sunk in less than 3 hours. The Cardinal season could be sunk after 32 games. Now, lifeboats saved 700 on the Titanic. Not even 7 runs scored today could save the Cardinals from another loss to the Angels. Jack Flaherty would like a do-over. He was hit early and often. Flaherty lasted 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 10 earned runs and 9 hits today. Now, the Cardinals were down 11-2 at one point, but they did show a pulse. Tommy Edman with a 3-run bomb. Not enough. It's 6 losses in a row. Angels sweep 11-7. Talk to us, Jack.
If I was average, if I put together an average start, we win this game because, guys came out and swung it.
We're still confident. That's not the problem, but, it's not like we're getting unlucky.
At some point, we're going to figure it out. And, I was hoping for it to be today. I was hoping to put together a good start, and you know what? I didn't freaking do it.
The Maple Leafs hosting the Panthers in Game 2, and the former Blue Ryan O'Reilly will light the lamp for his 3rd goal of the postseason. It gave the Leafs a 2-0 lead. Not enough. Florida wins the game 3-2 and now lead the series 2-0. Joe Montana on hand to watch the Warriors hosting the Lakers in Game 2, and Klay Thompson was out of sight. He will drain the 3. He has 30 points right now, and the Warriors lead it 110-80 early in the 4th period. Tomorrow night in St. Charles at the Steel Shop, it's boxing, baby. 11 fights, including one who isn't your typical boxer. Ladue High School off Warson Road has likely produced their fair share of doctors, lawyers, and successful people in business. And then there's this young man, 16-year-old sophomore Gabriel Ponce. He likely could be successful in those fields. After all, he's a hardworking 4.0 student who took the ACT when he was in the 8th grade. But he wants to do something else. You see, when he walks down those steps at Ladue, he's not going to the library next.
I don't like to lose.
And he hasn't. This 130-pound boxer is 2-0. But he is in a profession where many of the people he competes against are boxing lifers who have fewer options in life. So could they be hungrier?
To be honest, I'm going to be working just as hard, if not harder than them. I don't like losing.
His trainer is his father, Jose, who has trained boxers for 20 years and boxed himself his entire life.
It's not the environment that you're in, it's what you have inside. And he has a killer instinct. That's without a doubt. He's going in there and he's training just as hard as anybody out there that's come from different backgrounds or comes from different environments of life. But he puts his time in here just like every other one that works hard in this gym. He puts his time in.
Gabrielle will definitely be the only Ladue High School student who made the National Honor Society, who on May 5th will be in the ring boxing in front of nearly 1,000 people. What do you hear from your friends?
Yeah, they never expect it because obviously I'm a little bit more on the quiet side. In school, I don't really talk that much, so whenever I tell people I'm a boxer, it definitely shocks them.
And what about his father, allowing his own son to enter a sport that can be dangerous?
I train him exactly how I would train all the pro fighters I trained in the past, and I always look out for their safety just like I would like my own son. And he happens to be my own son, so I look out for his future as well, not only inside the ring but outside the ring.
There he is, Gabriel Ponce, nicknamed El Tigre, a biology student by day and a boxer by night. Can you imagine Monday at Ladue? What'd you do this weekend? I went to Baskin Robbins. Well, I knocked somebody out in the 3rd.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Great story,
Impressive.
Frank. Thanks.
Celebrating Cinco de Mayo. How much guac and margaritas Americans will consume tomorrow. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. It celebrates Mexico's surprise victory over the French in the Battle of Puebla in 1862. But it's become a popular holiday in the U.S. in recent decades. according to the California Avocado Commission. Nearly 350 million servings of guacamole are consumed on the 5th of May. That's washed down with 126 million liters, not of margaritas, just of tequila. Americans drink an average of 3.5 alcoholic beverages on Cinco de Mayo.
If you're downtown tomorrow, you can celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the inaugural St. Louis Taco Fest. Dozens of local taco spots will be set up at Keener Plaza from 1 until 8. There will also be entertainment, drinks, and a taco eating contest. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.